Guys, I'm not really an electric car person, but if I was to be an electric car person, it'd be because of one of these cars. This is a Tesla Model S Plaid, and this is a Porsche Taycan Turbo S. And today I'm going to compare both of these and let you know which one I would take home. So we're going to look at performance and quality. Let's start with the Tesla. So first we're going to start with styling, and I wanted to start with a Tesla because the Tesla is a little bit more vanilla of the two. It's a beautiful looking car, yes, but it's not too flashy. It kind of blends in. It's not something that really stands out in the crowd. One of the things that I do like about this car is the flowing roofline. I like how this car has very clean and long flowing lines. And again, like I said, it's not a bad looking car. It looks very good. Whenever I went on the Tesla website, I noticed that there were only 5 colors for the exterior and 3 colors for the interior. Not too much as far as customization goes. I kind of felt like I was ordering a new iPhone and not really a new car. It's a little bit different, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just this is more geared towards technology. A lot of people decide to wrap these cars because, number one, they can't get the color that they want, and number two, because the paint quality isn't all that great. It's no secret that Tesla's paint quality has always lacked a little bit for a car in this price range. If you can overlook that and everything, it's a nice looking car. In contrast, if we take a look at the Porsche Taycan, when this car first came out, it was called the Porsche Mission E concept. Honestly, whenever I first saw this car, I fell in love instantly, and I thought if I were going to get an electric car, this would be the one. It's unmistakably Porsche. If you look at this roofline right here, this looks a lot like something that you'd see on a 911. And I love that. It has the wide hips, it has the flowing lines. On this one, you can get like 7 or 8 different wheel setups. On the Tesla, I think there's only 2. And honestly, I don't really like the Tesla wheels very much. I love the Mission E style wheels on this one, and that's what these are designated as. Speaking of wheel and tire setup and brakes and all that stuff, I just noticed something. The Porsche has carbon ceramic brakes. 6-piston carbon ceramic brakes on this one. That's really good because this car is incredibly fast, and carbon ceramics are just, you know, the gold standard as far as stopping power goes. This one, it's a little bit harder to see, but this one has the regular steel brakes. And I know that this has kind of been controversial in the industry because they're saying, why would you not offer carbon ceramics on this car from the factory? Doesn't it make sense because this car can go incredibly fast? This one already has it as an option. Porsche thinks a little bit more about this kind of stuff. As far as performance, I'm sure that's probably gonna make a big difference as far as stopping power goes. And this is called coffee beige metallic for the exterior color. They have quite a few different colors that you can order this car in. In person, this color is absolutely gorgeous on this car. It's like a tan. I wouldn't really call it beige. I'd call it more of like an army tan color with a little bit of metallic to it. So overall, it's an awesome looking design. So after finally figuring out how to turn on the headlights, now we can see what these look like illuminated. So you have this nice accent light that goes all the way along the top. The headlight design on this one really ties into the rest of the car pretty well. It's very nice, it's very sleek looking. It's an attractive design. Let's look at the Taycan. This one's quite a bit different. This one has the 4 lights, and all Porsches now have these 4 lights right here. They're kind of the accent, the marker lights, but whenever you see it coming down the road during the daytime, you know it's unmistakably Porsche because these things are actually pretty bright. One of the things to highlight, this is a $130,000 car. Come on, Tesla. The panel gap, look at this. Right here, it's very thin. And on this side over here, it's a little bit wider. On a $130,000 car, it seems like a simple thing to get right. It's a little bit annoying, and that's something that Porsche does a little bit better than Tesla. Moving to the back end of the Tesla, it's kind of funny because, again, there's no real way to tell that this is a Plaid other than this little badge that says Plaid and this carbon fiber lip spoiler. I would like a little bit more distinction between the cars. If I'm paying more money for a car that goes faster, I kind of want people to know that I have the nicer car. As a matter of preference, I kind of like the fact that higher performance cars tend to stick out a little bit more. And on the Porsche, you get a lot of different trim models. As far as customization, as far as everything else goes, you have more options as far as that one. If you want to blend in, if you don't want to be as showy, if you want to be a little bit more low profile, the Tesla is the way to go. As far as overall styling goes, I would 100% give that to the Porsche. Because the Tesla, while it's a good looking car, I really prefer the look of this car. The proportions and everything are a lot nicer. Let's take a look at the interior of the Tesla and see what we've got. One of the first things that you notice whenever you sit inside this car is the steering wheel. And it's not a wheel anymore, it's actually a yoke. And it's something that a lot of people really like on this car, but it's something that I don't really like on this car because whenever you're turning, whenever you're actually going like this, you go to grab the wheel that's not there, and it makes it just a little bit more difficult. You don't have turn signal stalks. This has the turn signals right here on this instead of actually on the stock. You don't have a stock anymore, like I said. I've heard that Tesla is thinking about giving you an option for a circular steering wheel, which I think that's probably a good idea. This one's a little bit more gimmicky. Another thing that you notice in this car is that there is no like actual buttons. I mean, you have these buttons right here and you have a couple buttons on the steering wheel, but you don't have anything as far as a shifter. And that threw me off like super hard whenever I got in this car, because I was like, how the heck do I shift this thing? This is my first time in a Tesla, so give me a break. The shifter is actually right here. If we go back to the car settings, if I turn this on and then I want to do this, it makes you put the key right here, and then you do this right here. This is a very techie car. Now, honestly, I'm not a really techie person, so while I can admire how beautiful the screen is, how high resolution and how responsive it is, I don't feel like I'm in a car. I feel like I'm in a piece of technology. And again, it goes back to the Apple thing. It's so simple that maybe it's just a little bit too simple at the end of the day, because I like buttons. I like being able to push all my climate buttons, and I like to be able to, you know, I like some separation. This just seems a little bit too basic. As far as interior materials go, we have carbon fiber on the middle tunnel right here, which looks awesome. The leather seems okay. It seems like it's pretty good quality materials here. This is all a ventilated seat right here, so that's kind of nice. There's a lot of things to get used to in this car, so it's kind of far removed from a regular driving experience. If you want something that's more of just a regular car, you're probably better off with something else, because this one is completely different than any other car that I've ever driven. Let's take a look at the Taycan and see how that looks. This is quite a bit different. This feels more like you're getting into a car. You have a steering wheel, you have buttons. This feels a little bit more like home, and it's classic Porsche as well. I mean, I love Porsche steering wheels. I've said that before, I'll say it a million times. Porsche probably makes the best steering wheels in the industry. The materials, everything are a lot nicer in this one than the other car, and it's kind of noticeable how much nicer this one is. The design is a lot more well thought out. It's more ergonomical, I would say. But the screens are quite a bit separate. So in Tesla, you have a big screen right here, and it's very good quality and all that good stuff. But in this one, I have my gauge cluster, then I have my screens, and I have another screen right over here for my passenger. I have the climate menu and the entertainment system right here. And I like the way that these seats feel a little bit better. They kind of hold on to you a little bit better. There are quite a few different interior options that you can get in this car as well. This one is the brown leather interior, and it looks really nice with this color. It's not for everybody, obviously, so they have quite a few different ones. They have leather mixed with their race techs. That's what they call their Alcantara, basically, race techs. Sounds kind of cool. As far as interior design goes, I like that this has turn signal stalks. I like that it has buttons. I like that it feels more like a car than the Tesla does. I really prefer the Porsche. I feel like this is just a nicer car. It's gonna hold up a little bit better. Let's go ahead and move to the back seats. All right, the back seats are a little bit smaller in this car. I feel like the headroom's maybe a little bit lower on this one. But the back seats aren't bad. I mean, they're not cramped. I don't think they're cramped. They're just a little bit smaller. I have AC controls with a little screen right here. So there are rear AC controls here, which is nice. There's only 4 seats in this one though. So you have 2 seats in the front, and then you have 2 seats in the rear. If I hop in the back seat of the Tesla, one of the first things that I notice is that the sunroof actually dims out a lot more in this one than it does in the Taycan. Something to consider. But in the back seat, I feel like it's comparable. I don't feel like I'm losing any space. I don't feel like I've gained any. I feel like everything's just kind of shifted around a little bit. This one is a little bit further away as far as like the touchscreen, but I still have back controls right here. This one has 5 seats instead of the 4. You have 2 seats in the front, and then you have 3 seats in the rear. This one, albeit very small, is still a seat. One thing to also note is that I can see everything in the trunk right here. I can actually reach everything in the trunk, whereas on the Taycan, you can't do that. Speaking of the trunk, let's go ahead and take a look at storage space. How practical is this? Automated. Check it out. You have a good amount of space in the trunk of these cars. I feel like this is pretty good. I mean, as far as overall space, I'm not losing anything. It's not impractical. So let's take a look and see what the Taycan has. Oh, it's got a little button there instead of something under the back. Quite a bit less space. So on that one, the whole hatch opens up. On this one, it's just the trunk. And so you have a little bit less space in here. Overall, I'd say the Taycan is probably just a little bit less practical. And if that's a big deal, then I don't know what to tell you. There's still a good amount of space back here. It's not as much as the Tesla, and that's something to consider. As far as storage space in the front, it's kind of the same thing. Tesla doesn't have a ton of space up front, but it's more than what the Taycan has. Tesla's just a little bit more practical as far as storage space goes. As far as styling and overall quality, the Porsche wins, because it's just a beautiful looking car. Every aspect of this, all of the lines are nicer. as far as practicality goes, if you need something that has more storage space, that feels a little bit roomier, the Tesla is probably going to be a little bit better on storage space. So now comes the real test, because now we test out performance, and we're not doing 0 to 60s in these cars. We want to do actual everyday driving in these and see which one's a better car to drive, because this one's faster. We know this is the fastest accelerating car in the world, but you're not going to be using that every day. How do both of these cars handle in everyday situations, and which one is better to drive? That's what we're going to go ahead and figure out. So let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so we're going to go ahead and drive this Tesla. I want to introduce you to Noor. This is one of my good friends that I used to work with at BMW. So she has kind of set us up with these cars today. And I just want to go ahead and say thank you again for that. What do you think of this, being a Porsche person?
Honestly, the fit and finish in this car, what gets me for the price they charge. It's like a quality of Toyota for the price of a Porsche, and that's amazing.
The panel gap was really what got me, because that's like, that seems so basic. It seems like something you should just get right. Keep on trying to go for the turn signals, and I don't have a turn signal stock. That throws me off.
Exactly, that's another thing. Look how boring this is. I mean, you have an iPad or a tablet in the middle of the car, and that's it. Versus some other electric cars that do not really have to be boring, like Porsche, BMW. You can have it electric, fast, and not boring.
Yeah. So this one, we just put it into Plaid mode, and I'm going at 60. I'm gonna go ahead and push the gas a little bit and see how it goes. Ready? Oh god! Oh, that's insane.
I have a concussion now. Can we sue Tesla?
You know, your whole body like goes numb when you press the gas. It's so crazy. It's very fast, and it's a lot of fun. There's no doubting that this car is like just ridiculously
So you
fun
know
to
you
drive.
have to warn the passenger
Yeah.
that you're pushing gas.
Oh yeah.
Because they definitely will slap their head. Joe here did not.
That's something to think about.
The steering wheel.
The steering wheel is something to get used to.
I feel like I drove it 4 times, and then I started like, now I know just to throw it and hold it again. Still feels really weird.
Here, so I'm just gonna make a regular right-hand turn, and I'm all the way like this.
Twisted.
Yeah, so if I want to turn out right, then this is what I'm dealing with right here, which is kind of dumb.
Unless you're gonna train yourself to push, let go, and hold again.
It's a comfortable ride. I feel a lot of like body roll though, as far as like when you take off, the back end squats pretty hard, and it's not really stiff suspension. Another thing is the brakes. Whenever you're doing any kind of high-speed driving and you start putting a lot of wear on those brakes, the carbon ceramics on the Porsche are probably going to be a lot better for that than this one will be. Because it's a fast car, you want something that brakes a little bit better. Stupid turn
It's
signals.
a nice car, definitely fast. The only thing they left out, they focused on the speed. They left out the body roll, like you said. They left out stability. Turn radius is good, not as good as in the Porsche.
Okay. Anything that has to do with this screen right here while I'm driving is very annoying.
Yes.
Because you have all these controls right here. They put everything in the same spot.
We have the lock button on the door for you to lock, unlock in 1
Yeah.
second. Here, you're gonna have to scroll between 3 pages.
Yeah, I know. So that was one of the things. When we first got in this, I could not find the unlock button to get her in here because it's not on the door. There's no unlock button on the door. So I had to go through the menu, and it took me like 30 seconds to open it up just to unlock the door.
And so, you know, every time they reprogram it, it shovels stuff around. So even if you have the car for 6 months and you got used to adjusted to where to find everything, they do an update.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Guess what? You're gonna have to go back and refind it.
That's kind of annoying.
Oh, 100%.
That's really annoying. As far as drive, it's not bad. But as far as fast driving, I feel like the Porsche is going to be a lot better. So overall, it's a good driving experience. There's a little bit of body roll. It's very fast accelerating, and it's a lot of fun to drive. But what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to drive the Taycan Turbo S. So just being honest, I filmed this a couple days ago, and then when I got home, I realized that I actually did a time lapse instead of an actual video. So you're going to see an outfit change from Nora right about. So this one already feels just a little bit better as far as like
luxury.
Yeah, as far as overall fit and finish, I feel like this one's just a lot better put together. I love the way that this sounds. It sounds like you're in an Avengers
And the way
movie.
it feels, and the way it looks.
Yeah.
And the way everything's much easier to find.
It feels like you're warping through time. Let's see, Sport Plus.
You need to give people warning.
Yes, sorry.
My neck.
Oh my gosh, that's just like the Tesla. I mean, it's so fast. That is ridiculous. mean, obviously I've been that fast in the Tesla, but oh my gosh, I don't feel a difference. Like, I'm sure if I did it twice in a row, like one back to back, then yes, you'd feel a difference, but I don't feel a difference.
It's fast enough. That's the point. The difference is not
fast.
noticeable to let go of all of this.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is way more than enough. I mean, if you're driving an everyday driver car like this is ridiculous. I mean, like I said, it's insane how fast this is. But I feel so much more at home. Like, I'm not trying to figure things out. I have a real steering wheel. I have nice leather. I have so many more things. I feel like the Tesla is just such a learning curve.
You have a signal light.
Yeah, a turn signal that I can turn off when I want to. I like hearing something though when I'm driving, like that.
It reminds me when we were little and we did watch some cartoon shows, and it was about like the future, and they had like spaceship they traveled in. Did it sound exactly the same?
Exactly. I mean, this sounds just like that. It sounds like you're warping through time in an Avengers movie. That's so cool. Well, you can hear it outside too when you drove up. It must have something outside as well. But it feels like a $180,000 car.
Exactly.
It feels like
you
you're
have
getting.
Two screens here.
You have a
I can
Burmester
have
sound
mine.
system.
You have yours. You have wood.
Yeah.
You have real leather. Look how nice.
I like
leather.
this. Yeah, I like the seats in this one too. I feel like I'm held more in place. So going around turns, I'm not going to be.
Body roll.
Yeah.
Again.
Body roll is not. I don't feel any body roll in this.
Engineering. They took their time engineering the vehicle, not only just make it fast.
Right. Porsche's been at that for a very long time now. I like my gauge cluster. I like my screens. I like how this is everything's in its place. Honestly.
One touch to change your AC.
Yeah, it's all right here. You don't have to go digging through a menu, and that's really important. User interface when you're driving is really important.
Lock unlock?
Yeah, you have buttons right there.
You struggled with Tesla, huh?
No, I couldn't find it. And this one comes with the carbon ceramics too, so you can stop. Whereas on the Tesla, you don't have carbon ceramics. You have the regular brakes that come on the regular Tesla Model S. I would feel a lot more comfortable spending $150 on this than I would on a Tesla. I'd be happier driving this every day. Guys, if you are looking for a car in Florida and you want just the best service and the best kind of selection, definitely head up Nora. I'm going to go ahead and put her Instagram handle right up there. But yeah, thank you, Nora.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. So guys, as far as a driver's car, when it comes to quality and when it comes to performance, I would take the Porsche. As far as a performance and driving car, something that I want to live with every day, it's hard to deny the quality of the Porsche that they put out. They've been doing this for a very long time, and it really shows that they know what they're doing. Let me know what you think about this video. Roast me in the comments if you want to. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.